Indians have repeatedly shown that the more they are challenged, mocked, ridiculed, or judged unnecessarily, that they will show with results eventually that it is better not to prick on them, not to provoke them. Our business minds have often led on that front. Remember 2 months ago when Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI and a key man behind ChatGPT, said something on the lines of Indians could try to create something like ChatGPT AI system, but it will be futile given the competition in the training foundation modules. After the uproar, Altman had to clarify that he was misquoted and misunderstood, but the ball had rolled by then. Tech Mahindra Chief Executive Officer CP Gurnani said from one CEO to another, challenge accepted. And now, at the 46th Reliance Annual General Meeting, the AGM event, the company chairperson Mukesh Ambani also in a way accepted the challenge and announced that Jio would now create new AI systems similar to ChatGPT for the Indian users. Also adding, and I quote him here, India has the scale, India has the data, India has the talent. This confidence of Indian business honchos is not baseless. There is a reason for it and there is evidence behind it. Tata acquired the Jaguar Land Rover. Let me take you back into history about a popular legendary story in the business fraternity. Remember in the late 1990s when the Tata introduced an Indica car. It was an Indian-made vehicle that was also the dream project of Ratan Tata. This experiment led to a meeting apparently of Ratan Tata along with his team flying to Detroit for a meeting, where, as the story goes, the meeting was supposed to be with the Ford chairperson Bill Ford. But Ratan Tata, as the story goes, was apparently meted out a not so good, in fact, a humiliating treatment. And then the tide changed in the next few years. 9 years later, conditions were now different. Tata Motors division was branded a success, generated good revenue. Due to the 2008 market crash, Ford was now on the verge of bankruptcy. Ford also owned the British luxury car brand Jaguar Land Rover. Ford was now looking to sell their JLR division. Tata then bought off JLR with an all-cash payment of $2.3 billion to Ford. Tata revamped the structure, made it one of the most profitable motor divisions owned by it. So if this legend is to be believed, it was coming full circle for Tata, specifically the manner in which how they went selling one day and now they were buying that specific division, which was the JLR from the Ford. This rebuilding of iconic car brand Jaguar Land Rover after buying it from Ford is now an inspirational story even for the present-day industrialists like chairperson of the RPG Enterprises, Harsh Goenka, who applauded this response by Ratan Tata. Tata Motors, part of the Tata Group, is today a leading global automobile manufacturer. It has about 104 direct and indirect subsidiaries worldwide, including Jaguar Land Rover and the Tata Daewoo. East India Company owned by an Indian. Every Indian has heard of the East India Company, formed in the 1600s to import tea, spices from the Indian subcontinent to the European markets. It's a name to all Indians synonymous with violence and authoritarian behavior against Indians. Today, the company is owned by an Indian entrepreneur, Sanjeev Mehta. Infosys turned India into a tech hub. Who would have thought that India will one day become a tech hub of global proportions? Most skilled professionals from India were taking the first flight to the United States of America for fat paychecks and for a better life waiting for them. But now, remember that from 10,000 rupees of investment to over $70 billion now is the net worth of Infosys. In 1981, 7 engineers from the Patni computer system, N.R. Narayan Murthy, Nandan Nilekani, N.S. Raghavan, S. Gopalakrishnan, S.D. Shibulal, K. Dinesh and Ashok Arora had a modest investment with them. They had limited resources, but they also laid the foundation for what would become one of India's most successful IT services. And these companies are, of course, now noticed and known across the world. Infosys went on to become the first Indian firm to list on the Nasdaq in 1999. By 2021, Infosys had become the second Indian technology firm after Tata Consulting Services to cross $100 billion valuation mark. Infosys has proven that Indians do not just become employees, we can also generate employment. And how? Because now this Indian IT company has announced a 3-year partnership with global tennis star Rafael Nadal. That says a lot, isn't it, about Infosys? Wipro's contribution to India. A company first established before independence in 1945 by Muhammad Hussain Hasham Premji, who took over his father's grain trade and decided to go into manufacturing. The first factory was established in Karnataka. Azim H. Premji then took on the legacy and how. Earlier, Wipro was a vegetable oil manufacturer, but Azim Premji transformed Wipro into a versatile and a diverse company to develop mini computers. And 10 years later, in 1989, Wipro had transformed itself into a manufacturer of industrial equipment, consumer products, and computer equipment. By the time 90s came and the age of IT in India saw the golden age, Wipro had partnered with international tech companies and dove deeply into the IT services. Premji took advantage of India's large pool of well-educated software developers who were now ready to settle in India. In the year 2000, Wipro had become a $1 billion company already and was listed at the New York Stock Exchange. Beyond business, Azim Premji Foundation, set up in 2000, is also known to provide education, specifically to underprivileged children. And in the financial year of 20 and 21, Premji had emerged as the most generous Indian, topping the philanthropy charts. He had donated, according to the data available, 7,904 crore rupees. And in financial year 21, he had donated about 9,713 crore rupees to charitable initiatives. So not just for India, but also contributing to issues worldwide. I will conclude by saying how India has now become a part of global conversations in the past few years. A recent viral post on social media caught the attention of X's boss Elon Musk. This post listed the chief executive officers of more than 20 major multinational companies, all of whom have Indian origins. Musk took to what was formerly Twitter, reacting to this list, and replied by terming it impressive. Impressive indeed, isn't it? Thank you for watching.